Howdy y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to try to do a relatively quick update on my years of usage project pan. Don't mind the mess behind me, I just moved here, which it'll probably stay like this because I'm only going to be living here for a couple months, but yeah, you might recognize this background. I moved back to the place I lived before, but anyway, getting on with the update. Yeah, I gotta go kind of fast because I only have like 20 minutes. But so I'm gonna go in the same order as always. So for Nervina, oh, by the way, just a quick little, if you're not familiar with this project, the goal is to either hit 20, or it's years of usage, so like whatever year it is, so this year is 2022, so the goal is to hit 22 uses on each shade, or to hit pan, whichever comes first, and then you consider that a goal hit. So here's a little flash of my Norvina palette goals. I'll show you the actual palette in a minute. But as you can see, I got super busy on this palette. I have used it a ton and made tons of progress. All these shades, Wild Child, Rose Gold, Celestial, Soul, and Soul, have all been hit in this update, so that's a lot. And I am 2 uses away on Summer and 1 use away on Dazzling. Honestly, like, I know I could have like completely finished this palette, but I was holding off on using those because the way I post on Instagram, like I do my ABH, which I have 2 of, in a whole separate post, so I didn't want to, like, I kind of wanted to finish both of my ABH palettes at the same update, if that makes sense, and I have a ways to go on the other. But anyway, yeah, so I'm super proud of that, and I used it a ton. I made it my go-to travel palette, and since it's already like mostly used up, I've been kind of like transferring to a new travel palette. But anyway, yeah, so this palette should definitely be rolled out by next time. And here's a look at what it's looking like. Obviously, oh, actually, I do have a pan. I had already hit Dreamer, goal on Dreamer last year by hitting 21 uses in it. However, I did hit pan. I'm sure you can see it has that little rusty stuff on it like the ABH palettes get, which is kind of gross, but oh well. I'm really happy to hit pan. I don't necessarily go for hitting pan because I try to wear down the pans evenly, if that makes sense. So that's why you don't see a lot of pan in my collection, even though I use a lot. And also I have a light hand, especially when it comes to matte shadows. But yeah, that's really exciting. This is my first ever ABH pan. So that's monumental. And I know people hit them so fast, but I've used that shade so much. Probably at least 40 or more times. I would guess more. Okay, so next up is Sultry. And I only used this palette like twice because I was really focusing on Narvina as far as the ABH goes. And I did not hit goal on any of these. Sorry, I don't know if that's kind of, there. Is that a little bit better? Okay, I did not go on any of these. I didn't really work on it too much. I think I used it like, I might have used Teak twice and Ember once or something like that. So not a whole lot of progress, so not a whole lot of change. But, yeah, you can see there, actually this Dystopian, even though it's rolled out, I'm pretty sure has a good dip. But yeah, other than that, none of these look close to pan to me, honestly. But that being said, I do want to roll potentially this out by the next update. Steampunk is my furthest to go. I still have 10 uses to go on that, and it's a yellow gold, and y'all know I don't like yellow gold, so that's going to be the biggest struggle. But other than that, I think the rest will be easy. I have 3 left on Ember, 2 left on Bloom, 2 left on Cinder, and 5 on Teak, and then this palette will be done. I gotta go faster. Okay, so quickly, the Pure Visionary. I spoke about last time that I was like, this palette was no longer in the project because I finished it and decluttered some shades. But I just thought if you don't have Instagram and you wanted to see kind of how I reworked the palette, this is how it looks now. I obviously repressed this shade, and this shade. I made like a mixture of these 2 shades to this, and then I just repressed these because I had big pans. So yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like now, and I still plan on this being my pan that palette for next year. But I've still been using it. But as a reminder, it's no longer in the project. Okay, next up is Becca Ocean Jewels. I did make a lot of progress on Abalone and Spirit Quartz. I did a little bit on Mermaid Pearl. I haven't done much on Sandstone because it's orange and we know I... Sorry, it cut me off because an alarm went off. But I was just saying I really don't like orange, so that's going to be a real struggle. I basically wanted to make progress so that I could roll this out because, like, my intention with the last, like, update sort of was... And keep in mind, the reason I have so much progress is because it's been, like, 3 to 4 months since I've updated this, so that's why I have a ton of progress. But anyway, yeah, I would like to hit goal on a lot of these. I don't think I'll necessarily roll this palette out by the next update, but I want to be close, and Sandstone is the biggest worry for me because it's orange. So yeah, that's what she's looking like. No significant dips besides the cream, but that's not in the project anymore. But yeah, just little by little, chipping away at her. Okay. Next up is Jaclyn Hill Morphe. I won't spend too much time on it because I think I only used it like twice maybe. I'm pretty sure I just used like a couple of the pink shades, so like I don't even know if it's worth showing. But yeah, obviously she looks loved. I have not been focusing on this because, like I said, I was focusing on my smaller palettes because I want to like completely roll out a few palettes so that's a little bit less like overwhelming, I guess. And then also I consider this to be a bit, I mean, I can use it year round for sure, but I kind of, when I think of this palette, I think of fall. So it's more of a fall palette for me. But here's what that's looking like right now. I'm pretty sure all I used was like these maybe. Or maybe I just used Sissy, I think. But other than that, not really. So, okay, up next is BH Zodiac. I did use this for probably 3 or 4 looks. So not a ton of progress, but I will say on Leo Shimmer, I am 1 use away. So that's an obviously easy goal to hit. And on Taurus, I'm 2 uses away. And there was, this one. Ari's Matte, I have hit goal in on this update. Sorry, I don't know why it's picking up the light weird. But I have hit goal on this update, and I'll show you that shade. It's just a matte black. But yeah, there's some pretty easy like goals I could hit here if I really wanted to. But I definitely haven't really been focusing on this because I also view this as a fall palette. And fall to spring, I guess. But, what was I saying? Oh yeah, like I said, I'm focusing on the smaller palettes. So that one that I hit goal on is Ari's Matte, which is just this black shade, so that's kind of boring. But other than that, I worked on Taurus a lot, the shimmer, which is just really pretty, just like neutral. And then I also worked on Leo a lot, which is just like a basic pink shimmer. So not too impressive, but still making progress, so that's all I can ask. Okay, take me back to Brazil. Here's what I'm looking like. I don't think I had, like, I actually did make it, like, even though it doesn't look like I made a lot of progress, because, like, as a reminder, the red tallies are from last year, and then the blue are from this year. Sorry, I'm trying to get that light to leave it alone. But basically, is that better? No. I'm trying to figure out the lighting situation, sorry. Okay, basically, like at the first update, I only had like 1 tally on like a few of them. And now like you can tell by the blue that I have been working on this. Especially like today I did a Sunset Eye and I used like 5 different shades. Or maybe even 6. So yeah, this is what this is looking like. I've heard from other panners that they have hit pan in like 17 uses on this palette. And so that would be great. But I'm not even close to 17 uses. I think I'm going to make this a focus palette for the next update because, and I know it's a big palette and I know I said I'm focusing on smaller palettes, but every time it comes around, I say, I'm focusing on this in the summer because I only really want to do this in the summer. And guess what? It's summer and summer's not coming again for another year. So I need to focus on it even though it's not smaller palette. So I am not naive enough to think that I could even hit goal on any of these shades really. However, because like honestly none of them are even at 10 uses. But in my head, I'm gonna tell myself that I would like to get close to 10 tallies per shade. And I know that's not going to speak a lot as far as like goals go. Like that's not going to necessarily like make me hit any goals. However, it'll just make next year a lot easier because like I'm pretty sure I'm just going to hit a goal on that entire palette next year. Okay. Next up is Pat, I think this is Pat Mini Sublime. I have used this a lot. I'll show you the tallies real quick first before I show you. I think I had already had kind of like a few of these tallies on Sinful on the last update, but I've really focused on Illicit, which is the dark brown, because I've been using that as a liner shade. And so you can tell I've got like at least 6 to 7 uses on that. And then I think I might have used Sextrovert once or twice, but yeah. So I'm really excited about that. I've been using this as a travel companion palette because the Norvina palette doesn't really have any deepening shades, and I kind of mostly just use like the shade as a liner. And I also love having the green like as an option for travel, just to like have a pop-up color, because the Norvina is mostly like, it's pretty neutral. Well, pinks are neutral to me, so anyway. Okay, next up is the Tati palette. This one has been a major focus palette. I know that I didn't say that it was going to be in the last update. However, it has been. I did have a little bit of usage on this palette in the last update, but it was like hardly anything. So I've made a crap ton of usage on this. I have hit goal in Aura Metallic on this update. I will show you that. It's a beautiful shade. And I'm really close, like Aura Matte, I'm one use away. So like there's so many that I'm really close on. Not really. Oh, Soothe Matte and Aura Matte, I'm both one use away. And then there's some other ones that I can get relatively easy, because this is a neutral palette, so it's just like easy to use. Besides the oranges, like orange. But yeah, I'm really happy about this. Surprisingly, unlike many of my other palettes, you can actually see dips in this palette pretty well. So I know it's like a more powdery formula, so maybe that's why. But yeah, I'm not close to pan on anything, but it is like a little bit encouraging to see dips, just so that like I know that I am actually using this stuff. But yeah, the one I hit goal on was Aura Metallic, which is this like inner corner type shade. And then I'm like one use away on Aura Matte and Soothe Matte. So just these two neutral, easy ones. So I'll definitely hit goal on those by next time probably. But yeah, next up is Sour Patch, and at the last update, I'm pretty sure it was like hardly anything on this. So I've used this a ton, especially this like this middle row, and then honestly the bottom row too. Like I haven't really worked on the top row much at all, besides this is black. But yeah, as you can see, there's been a ton of progress. I'm super proud and happy about this. I did my most recent Get Ready With Me is using this palette, so you can see that in action there. But yeah, this is the palette. Whenever I like want to have a rainbow look, I go to my Take Me Back to Brazil palette because it's older. I don't know what logic that is because they're both in the project, but yeah. Anyway, so I have been using these two rows a lot, and honestly, I didn't pay for this palette. I wanted it in a giveaway, but I wanted this palette for the rainbow aspect of it, because I only have that one rainbow palette, and I feel like people who love colorful shadow like have a ton of colorful palettes, and I only had one, and I actually am a person who really likes color, so I just felt like I needed more than one, and yeah, I'm excited to use it. However, I haven't used the colorful shades, go figure, that much. But yeah, I have gotten a ton of usage, and I'll probably, like, this can be used as a lid setting shade, and so can this, so, like, those will be easy, for sure. Okay, I have one palette left. Okay, I was gonna say I'm running out of time, I need to go, but I'm gonna try to get this one palette in. Let me check the time real quick. Okay, I have a couple minutes, so I'm gonna finish really quick. I have, like, a meeting in 5 minutes, but it's fine. Okay, so, this is my Franken single palette. I like basically little Franken this whole palette, and I'm pretty sure I had like hardly any usage on this at the last update. So as you can see, there's been a ton of usage on it, and I'm super happy with this progress. Obviously I'm not close to any goals necessarily, but I think I have a really good start, especially since this is like brand new to the project this year. And by the way, so was the Sour Patch one, but I didn't have any progress on this one this year. Prior to this year, whereas I think I had a tiny bit of progress on the Sour Patch, maybe. Let me check. Yeah, I had like a couple uses. But anyway, I'm happy with this. I actually really like this palette. I mostly use it. It's like very cool toned, and I really like it. I mostly use it as under eye shades, or if I'm just like doing a super basic like cool tone look. It's really good for that too. But there's really only one matte shade in this palette, which is this shade. And I did not expect to like it, but I surprisingly love it. Like, it doesn't show up as vibrant. I mean, these are all super old shadows in my collection. It does not show up this deep on the eye because it is old. I guess it's lost some pigment. Sorry, I need to get a drink. But anyway, it is a beautiful transition shade, and I think that will roll out pretty quickly. Right now I only have 7 uses, but it will be a great transition shade to use because like a lot of my other palettes, I've already kind of hit goal on most of the transition shades. So I'm like prioritizing like the other palettes before this one as far as transition goes, but after that, like this will be an easy transition shade to reach for. And then I've also been like reaching for these two down here for like inner corner or just to brighten up looks, and then a lot of the deeper shades I'll do for under eye because I always like to like smoke out the under eye. But yeah, that is the end of the update. I feel like I made a ton of progress, and I'm super happy and proud of everything that I did. And let me know if well, I'm pretty sure like I know who all is doing this project, but if you just have decided recently to get into it, let me know because I want to watch your updates. And thank you so much for watching. God bless you, God bless your family, and have a beautiful day.